I am determined that the recovered assets are effectively managed with greater impact on fiscal operations of government and social investment policies of this administration.
No retreat in fight against corruption, President Buhari restates as new EFCC inspectors come on board.
We've deployed all our platforms to sensitize Nigeria on what this virus is about and what we need to prevent it.
Federal government double checks on facilities in place to detect early signs of coronavirus importation. Plus, Freedom of Information Act, National Development and Sustained Democracy evaluated by chief executives of MDAs. Good evening and welcome to the news at 9. I'm Ian Ray John. Reading with me tonight are Higino John Adams in Lagos and Zulay Mohammed from Kaduna. Now the news. President Muhammadu Buhari says with the reform agenda being implemented by his administration and open governance, there will be no hiding place for corrupt elements and acts of economic sabotage. Speaking at the personal parade of detective inspectors of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, the president was clear on the fact that Nigeria is winning the war against corruption. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo has details.
281 detective inspectors found worthy in both character and learning graduated from the one-year intensive training program on a wide range of EFCC operations. For the first time, President Muhammadu Buhari is reviewing the passing out parade for the EFCC detectives, and these officers are therefore highly honored and motivated to join the nation's anti-corruption warriors. President Muhammadu Buhari expressed Nigeria's great confidence in the ability of the EFCC detectives to not only sustain but accelerate the current level of success attained in the renewed onslaught against corruption.
My aim is to ensure that no government financial transaction is done in secret. Nigeria has been ranked by World Bank as one of the top 10 reforming countries in the world. I assure you that we shall do even better.
The federal government, he said, has made substantial progress in making available to the public data on all contracts across government agencies as part of efforts to enhance the level of transparency in governance and make it difficult for corrupt elements and proceeds of corruption to hide.
It is in line with this commitment that I approve the Assets Tracing, Recovery and Management Regulation 2019. I am determined that the recovered assets are effectively managed with greater impact on fiscal operations of government and social investment policies of this administration. Soon there may be need to introduce a legal framework enforcing reporting of all non-classified public sector operations online. This would facilitate quicker attainment of our goals on open governance and the dismissal of corruption in the country.
President Buhari said apart from the quantum of recoveries made and the number of cases successfully prosecuted, the government has also been working assiduously on preventing corruption from taking place through a series of institutional reforms. Acting Chairman of the EFCC, Ibrahim Magu, reassured President Buhari that the Commission will not relent in the execution of its mandate until the nation's financial and economic environment become fully sanitized, while confidence and integrity restored in business practices as well as the image of the country for the benefit of all.
EFCC performance will only continue to grow and are more determined than ever before, given your unflinching support to rid Nigeria of corruption. There are no sacred cows anymore. The fight against corruption is a fight that must be won to secure a better future for our generation and the generation yet unborn.
During the ceremony, fifth in its series, 5 graduating detective inspectors who distinguished themselves were rewarded with a Gaku Francis Ikani carting home the Presidential Award as Best Overall Cadet. President Buhari has since returned to Abuja. Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
And on security, the intensified offensive operations of the Nigerian Air Force against terrorist targets in the northeastern region of the country further records significant strides with the ongoing Operation Rattlesnake 3, executed by the Air Task Force of Operation Lafia Dole, destroying a training camp of the Islamic State of West Africa province at Tubun Zarami and the fringes of the Lake Chad in Borno State. In a statement by the Nigerian Air Force, the mission conducted on the 16th of February 2020 after successive days of intelligence, surveillance and reconnaissance missions, as well as intelligence reports from multiple sources, including the multinational Joint Task Force. Headquarters training activities were being carried out in and around some makeshift structures hidden under the shrubbery within the settlement. Consequently, the ATF detailed its attack aircraft that engaged the training camp 4, scoring accurate hits, which led to the destruction of the suspected camp commander's house, as well as some other structures within the camp. The NAF, operating in concert with surface forces, will sustain its air campaign to shape the battle space in the northeast for the effective conduct of further ground and air operations. Borno State government is to establish civil authority in Abuja local government area as soon as it is declared safe by the military. This follows Governor Babagana Umar's visit to Malam Faturi, the headquarters of the local council, to assess the level of destruction. Yagumsu Bukar has details.
Malam Fatori, headquarters of Abadam local government, is one of the communities in northern Borno overrun by the Boko Haram insurgents, compelling residents to flee for safety in neighboring Niger Republic. The liberated community, now under the control of 64 and 94 battalions of the Nigerian Army, is a ghost town with both private and public structures destroyed. Governor Babagana Umara flew into Malam Fatori, where he assessed damage done to the community and held meeting with the military officials, including the commander, Sector 4 of the Multinational Joint Task Force, and other top military officers, after which he addressed the soldiers, assuring them that the state government will drill boreholes and deploy excavator to dig trenches to fortify the town.
We are here to see things for ourselves. We remain eternally grateful to all of you for all the wonderful job that you have been doing.
Professor Babagana Umara was received at the border between Nigeria and Niger by the governor of Difa province, Issa Lamin, and other officials, from where he proceeded to Busu, a border community in Niger hosting refugees from Borno as well as Tumur and Garin Wanzam communities. Governor Babagana Umara sympathized with them, assuring that government is working hard to resettle them in their communities as soon as the areas are declared safe. In Maiduguri, Yagum Subukar, NTA News.
And away from Borno now, the Algerian Police Authority says all its security expertise and experience in fighting terrorism will be deployed to support the Nigeria Police Force to overcome the security challenges bedeviling the country. Algerian Police Chief, who doubles as the President, Afropol General Assembly, Khalifa Onesi, said this when he paid a courtesy visit to the Inspector General of Police, Mohammed Abubakar, in his office. Ilyasu Ali Yakubu reports.
The police all over the world are in charge of internal security, and as such, the dynamics of its approach to the security challenges require a high level of professionalism. The Nigerian police has been given its personnel training and retraining from within and outside Nigeria to meet up with the challenges of internal security in the country. This courtesy visit by the Algerian police chief to the IGP provides the platform to synergize on Nigeria's security challenges in fighting terrorism and insurgency. The meeting also deliberated on the forthcoming Africa Police Conference, which will focus on the security challenges in the region.
In Africa, we have to work more in order to be at this stage.
The IGP is confident that the expertise and experience of Algerian police will no doubt contribute meaningfully to the fight against insurgency and terrorism in Nigeria.
The only way we can collectively defeat terrorists is by uniting together within the continent.
Meanwhile, the Nigerian police is making great progress in addressing the challenges of perpetrators of fake news, with the latest arrest and confession of one Grace Ibrahim, who posted on the social media an accusation that the police is responsible for the recent kidnap and killings of the wife of Philip Ataga in Kaduna State. The police public relations officer, DSP Frank Mba, paraded the suspect, where she confessed to the crime and apologized to the Nigerian police.
I want to first of all start to apologize to the Nigerian police for putting out an information that was false.
The PPRO cautioned Nigerians to always verify and check their facts before going to the press to avoid misleading the public.
This kind of false story, then you are damaging a very vital ingredient of a stable society.
Members of Mr. Philip Ataga's family were recently kidnapped in Kaduna State, and his wife was killed by the kidnappers. In Abuja, Ilyasu Aliyakubu, NTA News.
And away from security now, Nigeria and the European Union are strengthening ties to advance human rights as well as respond to humanitarian situations as a result of violent conflicts. This was the thrust of a meeting between Nigeria's Foreign Affairs Minister Geoffrey Onyema and the European Union delegation in Abuja. Usman Aliyu brings us details.
The European Union says it is deeply concerned that more than 7 million Nigerians are devastated by Boko Haram in the last 10 years, and that the situation has been denying the people some rights, particularly the children, access to education. The EU also share concern over developments in election dispute in Nigeria, urging for strengthening of the justice systems.
You've all heard the President establishing his very noble ambition of lifting 100 million people out of poverty. It is our ambition to support that ambition, but of course it's a daunting task looking at the number of children out of school. Some say 14 million children out of school.
You know, it's always good for us as a government to hold ourselves up to the highest standards in the area of human rights. You know, as a government, we absolutely have an obligation and a desire to respect and promote the human rights of Nigerians. And, you know, peer reviewing it is a very good way of doing that with the Europeans, but also even within the framework of the African Union.
This is the fifth time the delegation of the EU and that of the federal government meet on strategies on improving ties with regard to improvement on human rights development. In Abuja, Usman Aliyu, NTA News.
In other news, the multidimensional ways to deal with security challenges in Africa towards achieving African Union Agenda 2063 topped deliberations as the Foreign Affairs Minister visited the Institute for Peace and Conflict Resolution. Kolom Mohammed reports that the Institute also presented scholarly works on tackling insecurity in Nigeria.
Conflict resolution relies increasingly on de-escalation and dialogue in ways suggestive of carrying conflicting parties along and giving each party sufficient consideration towards arrival at lasting peace. The visit by the Honorable Minister of Foreign Affairs to the Institute for Peace and Conflict Resolution that coincides with the Institute's 20th anniversary since inception is viewed by the Ministry as an opportunity to engage in dealing with the security challenges caused by Boko Haram insurgents, kidnapping, banditry, and many more.
The African Union has adopted an agenda 2063. It has some key objectives, some key aims, what will transform Africa by 2063 into a viable, wealthy, prosperous continent. And one of those planks, one of those pillars is silencing of the guns.
So your comment also shows your commitment to Mr. President's agenda on sustainable peace, security, and development.
To expand the experience of peace and calm across the country, the Institute upgraded its library to full digital status where researchers interface efficiently, and this has yielded the production of publications that could ensure paradigm shift to lasting conflict resolution. Kolom Muhammad, NTA News.
You're watching NTA Network News. Ahead, Nigeria's readiness to combat COVID-19 as ministers visit Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport. Details after these messages.
Be nice. You're welcome. Please, where's the restroom? Or just go into your right. Thank you. I follow. Mommy, it's me.
But you see, it's nothing to worry about.
Now, Glow 4G, the wrong thing.
Data is oxygen. Glow 4G, the new speed of life. Your #1 4G network nationwide. The very best from Glow, the grandmasters of data.
Following recurring incidences of traffic violations resulting in multiple accidents, the FCT administration wishes to inform the residents of the FCT that starting Monday, 17th February 2020, all traffic violators, irrespective of status or office, will be prosecuted on the spot by the FCT mobile court, and they will be named and shamed on television and newspapers. Residents of the FCT are enjoined to be law-abiding always. Let's together build the FCT of our dreams. Sir Christian Chinyaka, Oha, Permanent Secretary, Announcer. On behalf of the Governing Council, the Director General, Chief Executive of Industrial Training Fund, Sir Joseph Ari KSM, cordially invites stakeholders to the commissioning ceremony of the 2 newly completed projects, the Mechatronics Workshop and Administrative Block at the Industrial Skills Training Center, Kano, and the Katsina Area Office Complex. The Executive Governor of Kano State, Alhaji Abdullahi Umar Ganduje, will be the distinguished guest of honor at the commissioning ceremony in Kano, while the Chief Executive of Katsina State, Right Honorable Dr. Aminu Bello Masari, will serve as the distinguished guest of honor in Katsina State. The commissioning ceremony in Kano will take place on Thursday, 20th February 2020 at 11 a.m., while the Katsina Area Office commissioning will take place on Friday, 21st February 2020 at 11 a.m. The special guest of honor, the Honorable Minister of State, Industry, Trade and Investment, Ambassador Miriam Yawaji Katagum, will perform the commissioning ceremonies. ITF Management, Announcer.
Lucozade, energy to get through it.
When you wake up in the morning, before you start your day, breakfast time is Kellogg's time. For work and for play, for a great start to your day, breakfast time is Kellogg's time.
We always start our day with a nourishing Kellogg's breakfast, powered with the goodness of grains and 11 essential vitamins and minerals. So in our family, breakfast time is Kellogg's time.
Breakfast time is Kellogg's time.
My busy now 2 days or 4 days when my girls won't come visit and I need to go expire.
Oh, my guys, they can't follow me watch this match. I must not fold the hand.
Babe, what's happening now? Sorry to disappoint you, but my subscription don't expire.
The match is not on my GoTV package.
Now your holla be that. I beg, give me your phone. Look, I show you how you go take do for my GoTV app for your phone.
Life is so much easier with my GoTV app. Make payments, clear error messages, change your package. You can also check your due dates and keep abreast of your payment history.
With the corner, Matip is there.
The new My GoTV app is everything you need in one place. So what are you waiting for? Download My GoTV app now from Google Play or App Store to enjoy the easy life. GoTV. Live it, love it.
Chida International Hotel, pleasurable evolution you can't resist. A concept delivered. Chida International Hotel brings you face to face with an unimaginable experience you can't erase. You'll like to come again and again. One thing you will hate is to be told the story. Another thing you will love is to be part of the story. You are looking for where your gain equals the cost. Break even with Chida International Hotel with our world-class event center that is set to blow your mind away. A world-class arena equipped with top-notch facilities, syndicate boardrooms, hall 1, 2, and 3, underground basement hall, gallery, and many more. Located on plot 224, Solomon Law Way, Utako District, Abuja. For more information on your highly distinguished hotel services, call 081 007 18882 or 081 007 18883. Chida International Hotel, a place where your history and future is made.
Glad to have you back. The federal government has reiterated its commitment in ensuring that nothing is left to chance in preventing the deadly coronavirus codenamed COVID-19 from getting into Nigeria. This is a submission of some cabinet members who visited the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport for an on-the-spot assessment of facilities put in place for early detection of the virus among incoming passengers into the country at the airport. Anthony Forson reports.
As part of measures put in place to effectively monitor incoming passengers into the country, the Federal Airport Authority of Nigeria is collaborating with Port Health Services and other agencies such as NAMA, hospitals, immigration, customs, airline operators, ground handlers, among others. This is deliberately put in place to ensure entry screening, early case recognition, and continued preparedness and response with conducive holding areas, as well as adequate secondary screening areas. Minister of Aviation Hadi Sirika says airport officials are on red alert.
As the airport operator, FAN is monitoring the international situation on the evolving global outbreak of COVID-19 and implementing other supportive preventive activities to improve symptom awareness of the disease among travelers and airport workers, then improve environmental and personal hygiene within the airport and its host community.
While his information and culture counterpart, Lai Mohammed, maintained that the federal government has designed a robust enlightenment and an awareness strategy
to ensure that enough information is given to Nigerians. We've deployed all our platforms to sensitize Nigeria on what this virus is about and what we need to prevent it.
With the measures put in place being complied with, newsmen who accompanied the ministers witnessed the screening of passengers on board this Ethiopian airline. For those who had no proof of having a yellow card, they were immediately isolated and administered with the yellow fever vaccine.
We will not exempt anybody. Any passenger that comes through here does not have the yellow fever card. We will give him a shot for free, and then you pay his 2,000 naira and collect his card later on in town.
The other thing is visual, that is observation. You observe the port health people at the airport. They will observe the person, just on their own. Because when somebody is ill, just by the visual observation, you can know if somebody who is not really working well, or when somebody looks sick.
For us in the ministry, we're saddled with the responsibility of giving protection to vulnerable citizens, as I mentioned. If people are affected, we have to come in to see how we can support them after the health workers must have done their own bit.
The ministers took time to go around the arrival section of the airport to ascertain the functionality of sanitizers and other such disinfectants. In Abuja, Anthony Forson, NTA News.
And still on health, no Nigerian living in China is infected with coronavirus known as COVID-19. Chinese ambassador to Nigeria, Zhou Pingjian, stated this during an audience with the Speaker, House of Representatives, Femi Gbajabiamila. The ambassador said the Chinese government has taken measures to contain the spread of the virus, adding that his country would continue to protect Nigerians and other foreign nationals resident in China.
if there is any foreign nationals is infected by the COVID-19, the embassy, the relevant embassy, will be informed. So for us here in Abuja, no news is good news. Up to now, we receive no news about any Nigerian nationals, and that is the same message we got from your embassy in Beijing.
House Speaker Femi Gbajagbeamila reassured that Nigeria will continue to support China in any way it could and called for closer collaboration between the two countries towards ending insecurity in Nigeria.
In terms of building ties, military ties, Nigeria will be happy to work with you for that purpose, the purpose of wiping out terrorism in our country.
In another development, the Speaker, while hosting the Iranian ambassador to Nigeria, Mr. Morteza Rahimi Zachi, expressed readiness of the National Assembly to partner with Iranian Parliament in areas of shared interest. And still on health issues, the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development and the Nigeria Center for Disease Control are collaborating to enhance effective response to manage any possible outbreak of diseases in Nigeria. Olusheye Adiagbo was at the meeting between the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Sadiya Umar Farouk, and top management of the agency at the NCDC headquarters, Abuja. And now reports.
The recent outbreak of coronavirus disease in some Asian countries and the speed at which it's spreading to other continents has given the world a cause for concern. A recent case reported in Egypt has put Nigeria on a high alert, prompting a high-powered delegation to swing into action to ensuring that no stone is left unturned to preventing this deadly virus from ravaging the country. An inspection visit by the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, Sadiya Umar Farouk, to the Nigerian Center of Disease Control (NCDC) was a step to addressing this trend. The minister insists that her ministry has identified its role in recent development, particularly in partnering with the health sector to fostering an outbreak. She assured Nigerians of the ministry's preparedness to managing humanitarian-related crises across the country. Representative of the CEO of the Nigerian Center for Disease Control (NCDC), who conducted the minister around facility, expressed confidence of the center's capacity to address challenges as they come, while expressing satisfaction with the state of the art facility at the center. The minister said more efforts will go a long way in achieving its mandate. The Humanitarian Affairs Minister also mentioned some strategies and services already provided to manage new cases if detected. In Abuja, Olusheye Adiagbo, NTA News.
And heading to the National Assembly now, the House of Representatives has called for seriousness on the part of regulators in the aviation industry following recent diversions of international flights scheduled for landing at the Murtala Mohammed International Airport in Lagos to neighboring countries. National Assembly correspondent Lami Ali reports.
A major challenge, as enumerated by lawmakers during debate on the matter, was that the instrument landing system installed at the airport was not fully utilized, which is why such situations arise. The House therefore called for investigation towards finding solutions in view of the losses incurred.
The case where somebody else, in fact, they're trying to save your life, and they now divert to another airport, due to the negligence, assuming that is the case, that is the negligence of another agency. They cannot pay for the negligence of another agency. They can't.
The practice in the aviation industry is such that when the consequence of your action will have to be borne, if the reason for the diversion is caused by FAN or the NAMA because of the instrument landing system, first, the passengers would have to go to Ghana or to Abuja. They can't meet any fan or NAMA there.
There's an infraction by the agency in diverting this thing because they did not do what they're supposed to. That's the point you're trying to make.
The House also adopted a motion on the need to overhaul and intensify security at the National Assembly following intelligence said to have emanated from management that terrorists are planning to carry out an attack on the National Assembly. 2 amendment bills on the Council for the Regulation of Freight Forwarding and the Federal University of Petroleum Resources went through second reading. Plenary went into closed door to discuss the issue of security at the National Assembly and other matters of concern. From the National Assembly, Lami Ali, NTA News.
Meanwhile, Senate has confirmed the appointment of Captain Musa Shuaibu Nuhu as Director General of the Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority. National Assembly correspondent Ignatius Nkwo reports.
Tuesday's plenary took off behind closed doors, with issues bordering on the workings of the National Assembly in focus. 1 hour later, legislative business of the day commenced. The report of the appointment of Captain Musa Shuaibu Nuhu as Director General of the Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority was the first order of the day considered. Chairman, Senate Committee on Aviation, Senator Smart Adeyemi, presented the report.
That the nominee has requisite experience, that he possesses relevant academic and professional qualification, and that there was no petition against his nomination.
The nomination of Captain Musa Shuaibu Nuhu is hereby confirmed as Director General of the Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority, NCAA.
The Federal College of Forestry Technology and Research, Birnin-Gwari, Kaduna State, sponsored by Senator Obasani, Federal University of Health Sciences, Otugbo, Benue State, by Senator Abba Moro, and Federal University of Medicine and Medical Sciences, Abeokuta, Ogun State, sponsored by Senator Ibukunle Amosun, where the 3 higher institutions establishment bills passed through second reading.
To improve on those disciplines and develop new ones, as well as to contribute to the scientific transformation of medical and other health practices in Nigeria.
We need professionals to be trained that will be spread all over the country that will attend to people that will need medical attention.
Thereafter, leadership of the Senate held an emergency security meeting with National Assembly management and heads of security agencies over concerns of security threats to the National Assembly raised by the National Assembly management.
We want to secure the environment to ensure that our parliament is like other parliaments in other climes.
President of the Senate, however, explained that as the assembly of the Nigerian people, persons with legitimate business will not be prohibited from entering the complex. From the National Assembly, Ignatius Nkwo, NTA News.
And on legal matters, the Supreme Court has adjourned till the 2nd of March the application filed by the former governor of Imo State, Mr. Emeka Ihedioha of the People's Democratic Party, seeking a review of its judgment which nullified his election. The court also adjourned till the same date the application of the All Progressives Congress Party in Zamfara State, seeking a review of the decision of the court which invalidated the governorship, national and state House of Assembly elections on the grounds that the party failed to conduct legitimate primary elections in line with the Constitution. Viera Chimumba has more.
The former governor of Imo State, Emeka Ihedioha of PDP, is requesting for 7 days to regularize its processes to the application. The motion by his counsel, Kanu Agabi, SAN, was not opposed by the respondent's counsel. The 7-man panel of justices led by Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Ibrahim Tanko Muhammad, was set to review the applications. In a unanimous decision of the Apex Court, read by Justice Kudira Kekereku, had agreed that results from 388 polling units were unlawfully excluded from Uzodinma's results. On Zamfara case, the APC approached the court for review of its earlier judgment, which invalidated its participation in the governorship, national and House of Assembly election. The case was adjourned due to non-service of hearing notice on the respondents.
The appellant in that appeal obtained the judgment by fraud.
The very election petition and the entire appeals on it died on the 25th of May 2019.
There are another president here, all represented by council. So that may go to infringe upon their fundamental right for fair hearing.
The Constitution says all courts except the tribunal, they have no originating power to take any matter.
The decision of the Apex Court will be made known by 2nd of March. In Abuja, Viera Chimumba, NTA News.
The Federal High Court in Abuja has restrained the Independent National Electoral Commission from deregistering 31 political parties. The political parties were among the 74 whose registrations were withdrawn by INEC on February 6, 2020, due to their alleged poor performance in the 2019 general elections. Olabode Arewa reports.
The Federal High Court in Abuja on Monday restrained the Independent National Electoral Commission from deregistering the 31 political parties on the grounds that the party's application for a restraining order was not opposed by INEC. The 31 political parties and 2 others had filed an application on the 30th of October 2019, expressing the fear that they were going to be deregistered by INEC in violation of the law. While their suit was pending, INEC went on to deregister 74 political parties, including 31 of the 33 plaintiffs. Delivering a ruling on the plaintiff's application, Justice Anwuli Chikere held that INEC failed to file a counter-affidavit to oppose the claims of the plaintiffs. Although INEC, through his lawyer Taminu Inuwa SCN, claimed that the electoral umpire was not served with the processes filed by the plaintiffs, the judge noted that there was proof in the cause file that INEC had indeed been served. The judge ruled that since no counter-affidavit was filed, the facts sworn to in the affidavit in support of the application remained unchallenged, undisputed, and deemed to be true. The Attorney General of the Federation and INEC are the 2 respondents in the matter. The court has adjourned the matter till February 27, 2020 for hearing in the substantive suits. The plaintiffs in the matter are the Advanced Congress of Democrats, filing on behalf of 30 other political parties. In Abuja, Olabode Arewa, NTA News.
And away from the courts, accountability and transparency of office holders have been identified as essential for ensuring good governance that engenders sustainable development. Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, noted this at the presentation of a book, Can Religion, Politics and Power in Nigeria. The event also re-echoed the need for Nigerians to embrace unity and eschew violence. Religious intolerance. Ruth Aguela reports.
It is often said that the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a step, and the baby steps to adulthood of the Christian Association of Nigeria have been documented in the book titled Can Religion, Politics and Power in Nigeria. The book chronicles the relationship of CAN with other religious bodies in the country, especially Islam, in the face of politics and power. For these stakeholders at this book presentation, it is a clarion call for peace, reawakening of self-consciousness and love for one another, and working together to build a prosperous nation beyond religion.
Somewhere along the line, we must find a way of getting ourselves together under God, who has created all of us human beings. And when you bring it to our own little country, yes, called Nigeria, it should be easy for us now to see ourselves as brothers and sisters.
For everything we do every moment, we are writing history. Let Nigerians know you for what is praiseworthy.
The author, Samuel Salifo, told the story with a deep sense of spirituality shared from his personal experience serving with the Christian Association of Nigeria, and proffered solutions on the need for competence and capability of office holders.
When it is right, everybody knows what is right. And when it is wrong, everybody knows what is wrong. Just do what is right, period.
A religion shouldn't divide us. We are worshiping the same God. Therefore, we must all make provision to accommodate each other.
So for those of us that find ourselves in positions of responsibility in government, we are stewards and we are accountable to the Almighty after the exercise of our offices. So his message is timely, is apt, and is appropriate at this time of our national development.
Beyond the 268 pages, sectioned in 9 chapters, the goal here is to uphold religious tolerance and bring inter-ethnic harmony in the country. In Abuja, Ruth Aguela, NTA News.
In other news, to redirect the population growth of the nation to be more viable and productive, the federal government will fashion out policy response to maximize the human capital resources of the country. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo noted this in a message to the inauguration of the Senior Executive Course 42 of the National Institute for Policy and Strategic Studies, NIPS, Kuru. Felicia Samaila has the details.
The rapid population growth in the country has led to the numerous challenges of unemployment, underemployment, as well as growing crime rates. However, the federal government is strongly committed to ensuring that the ascending population growth rate does not have a negative impact on the Nigerian society. To this end, the participants of SEC 42, having taken the oath of allegiance, are expected to research carefully, proffer solutions and policy frameworks that can be strengthened to tackle the challenges of population growth and capital development in Nigeria.
Human capital development all over the world brings about high life expectancy and an efficient and productive workforce. The federal government has high expectations of the participants of the Senior Executive Course 42-2020.
Governor Simon Lalong, represented by the head of service Plateau State, advised participants to actively participate in the training and distinguish themselves by adding value to their respective organizations.
The course seeks to improve the overall performance of participants in their different professions, as well as prepare them to appreciate short and long-term national planning process.
The 10-month course will expose participants to the highest levels of intellectual and cross-fertilizing discourse of national issues. In Jos, Felicia Samaila, NTA News.
Chief executive officers of government agencies, departments and parastatals converged at the instance of the National Orientation Agency to evaluate impact of the Freedom of Information Act on national development. Kenneth Nanim reports that the application of the act is seen as a major factor in the sustenance of Nigeria's democracy through increased citizens' participation in governance.
The Freedom of Information Act was enacted in 2011 to make public records and information freely available and accessible to all citizens. 9 years after, National Orientation Agency is evaluating the effectiveness of the act.
It's part of the permanent dialogue mechanism adopted by the NOA to be implemented between citizens and government to promote openness, accountability, and the good governance in Nigeria.
The law has improved the standard of media reporting, investigating, reduced necklace rumors, improved due diligence in verifying facts.
Concerns raised here include how best to ensure that only correct and quality information are available to the public.
Deliberate efforts have been made to comply with this act, either by the use of media channels to bring the public up to speed with our activities.
The numbers of Nigerians arrested abroad have reduced by 45%, and freedom of information is directly responsible for this.
Director General of NTA Yakub Ibn Mohammed drew attention on the need for review of the act.
Some people request for information hiding under the cover of the Freedom of Information Act. But the question that arises is, what do they need the information for? Maybe the National Assembly to take a second look at the Freedom of Information Act.
Civil society organizations advocated more enlightenment campaigns in this regard. Kenneth Nanim, NTA News.
Let's now join Hegino in Lagos for more on the network news. Hegino.
Hello, Ian, and a warm welcome to Lagos. Our starting point here is the economy. The loan-to-deposit ratio policy of the Central Bank of Nigeria to grow lending to the real sector of the economy has increased deposit money banks' loan books by 10%. Bank executives at the Bankers Committee meeting of the CBN said the initiative has supported growth of consumer credit. Abolade Salami reports.
Central Bank of Nigeria in 2019, as a way to promote retail and consumer credit, advised deposit money banks to grow its loan books by 60% to the real sector of the economy. The policy, which was reviewed upwards in the same year to 65%, was to further encourage private sector accessibility to credit. The Bankers Committee, in assessing the impact of the policy on the growth of MSMEs and the economy, insists on the need for banks to support the drive.
The committee reviewed the successes recorded on this LDR policy and urged
the banks to continue to grow credits because they still have sufficient room to be able to do that.
Consumer credit has grown very well. The corporates who've always had credit have also been availed even more credit, and that for any economy to grow, the SMEs and the retail segment must be availed of credit, and I think the LDR is doing that very well.
The request by the government to deposit money banks to participate in bridging infrastructure deficits also formed part of discourse.
Specifically intervening in infrastructure, these are steps being taken to ensure that government is supported in its drive to grow this economy, reduce unemployment, and also overall improve the security of the nation.
The Apex Bank said the committee has come up with a regulatory measure to address customers who default in loan repayments. In Lagos, Abolade Salami, NTA News.
2020 has been declared the year of gas. This is in line with the federal government's commitment to harnessing flare gas for greater economic benefit and holding up its end of the climate change agreement. Bidders are set to take advantage of the Nigerian gas flare commercialization program. Dotun Oguyemi reports.
Nigeria is among 10 of the world's highest gas flaring nations. This is, however, set to change as actions aimed at ending gas flaring at a national level have commenced. With 200.7 trillion cubic feet gas reserve and 8 billion standard cubic feet daily production, 40% of Nigeria's gas is exported, 30% used as fuel for business of oil and gas, 17% used domestically, and 11% still being flared, according to the Department of Petroleum Resources.
This particular aspect is to realize that 2015 commitment to climate change, which will take that 11% of the flare volume to market, not only to market but creating opportunity, employment, as well as gas-based industries as it is.
In this hall are 200 shortlisted bidders to harness over 45 gas flare sites.
And by the time we get to the finish line, we'll definitely have made the historical success of NGFCP with not only ending gas flaring, but introducing a model of harnessing gas resources in Nigeria.
While the world has set a 2030 date to achieve zero routine flaring, this singular action will reduce greenhouse gas emissions to the tune of 20 million tons of carbon dioxide to help combat climate change. In Lagos, Dotun Oguyemi, NTA News.
Dr. Oguyemi's report ends our contribution from Lagos. More reports from Iyanre in Abuja after this break.
She picked the time, he picked the place. Now their eyes meet. But self-doubt stands between them. Can they break the barrier? With the freshness of antibacterial mouthwash formula in our best ever close-up toothpaste. Break the barrier. Move closer with confidence. Close-up deep action for 12 hours of fresh breath.
It is morning. A new beginning. As you prepare everyone for the day ahead, just anything is not enough. Only you make breakfast special, creamy, tasty, with vitamins and nutrients we need for a delightful, healthy start.
So start your day right with Hollandia Evap.
Hollandia.
That channel where you watch just now don't waka, no panic.
There's me no panic.
You go do it by yourself like ABC. Oh yeah, press the menu button on top your remote. Scroll up and down till you see Information Central. Then press OK.
Press OK.
Check the signal strength and quality. If the signal strength and quality pass 70, make you press the exit button, go back. Go advanced options, then choose installation, then go to reset and press OK.
Yeah, press OK. Wow, now you fit catch all those channels with be one miss road by yourself. Yes, make your groove for no loss. You see as I do, Abi? And I see as I do,
Go TV, live it, love it.
And I say as we do
United travel to London for the second week in a row as they take on Crystal Palace in the league. Will they achieve the double over their host this season, or will Crystal Palace carry out their revenge? Find out as Crystal Palace hosts Newcastle United on the Premier League Live on NTA Network at 3:30 p.m. this Saturday. The Premier League Live is brought to you by Coca-Cola and Access Bank.
Many thanks for staying. The Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, NNPC, says the country lost about $750 million to crude oil theft in 2019. Group Managing Director of the NNPC, Mele Kyari, stated this when he received a delegation from the Executive Intelligence Management Course 13 of the National Institute for Security Studies, explaining challenges of insecurity in the Gulf of Guinea as threat to international trade, national security and sustainable development of member states. Kyari called for synergy among stakeholders to secure the oil and gas sector for national development.
From banking to manufacturing and everything, there's nothing you can do in this country that you cannot connect to NNPC's activity, including agriculture. Therefore, in the scheme of things, when you have the activities of NNPC threatened by anything, it literally means that the entire security framework of this country is threatened.
Statistics by the NNPC indicate that in 2016, the Gulf of Guinea accounted for 34 kidnap cases of differers out in 62 cases globally. The team from the National Institute of Security Studies, drawn from 18 agencies within and outside Nigeria, pledged support to tackle insecurity in the Gulf of Guinea. Zule will now bring us reports of happenings in Kaduna.
Thank you, Iyari. Good evening and welcome to Kaduna. 7 companies, including a European firm, bidding for development of an electronic procurement portal for the 36 states of Nigeria. The Kaduna State Public Procurement Authority says the system is expected to promote transparency and check corrupt practices associated with public procurement in the country. Muhammadu Marajingi reports.
Submission of documents for bidding stop at noon. Experts in the communication industry from across the globe who succeeded in presenting in good time took turn opening their bid document before the evaluating team to be eligible to secure the contract to design an effective electronic procurement solution software for transparency in awarding contracts. I pulled out one of the experts from the bidding room and asked how the software works.
E-procurement system is all incorporated, whereby you can bid for projects wherever you are, and then it will go through the system. The system has quality assurance checks and all that is going to check.
The target is by September this year, all procurement system in the state will go digital. Kaduna State government is the first state in Nigeria that is trying to implement the e-procurement solution software to help the resident track government projects.
This program is being sponsored by what is called SIFTAS program of the World Bank, State Fiscal Sustainability Accountability Project, and it involves the 36 states of the Federation. So not only Kaduna State, the 36 states that will take part in this will financially benefit and technically on procurement process.
6 firms, including Indian and European companies, participated in the bidding process. In Kaduna, I am Muhammad Umrajingi, NTA News.
President Muhammadu Buhari has described the governor of Kaduna State, Nasiru Ahmed El-Rufai, as a courageous and outstanding public servant who takes bold decisions that positively touch on people's lives. The president stated this in a message to an event marking the governor's 60th birthday celebration in Kaduna. Again, Muhammadu Morajingi reports.
It is a remarkable day, and what a unique way of celebrating it. Born on the 16th of February 1960, Governor Nasiru Ahmed El-Rufai turns 60. Minister of Environment Mahmoud Muhammad represented President Muhammadu Buhari.
Governor of the man too easy to govern Kaduna State, have marked you out as an outstanding public servant.
Senate President Ahmad Lawal, Emir of Kano Muhammad Sanusi, and the Oni of Ife said the celebrant's foresight, wisdom, and unusual capacity to mobilize people and resources to actualize dreams stand him out in leadership and governance.
You are an asset to this country. You are an asset to humanity.
Nelson represents for me most of the qualities we need to see in political leaders.
By virtue of peer review amongst your other colleagues, you stand out.
It was encomium all the way and best wishes from all quarters for more years with good health and prosperity.
Finding good people, letting them do the work is also a quality. I say it's not a quality, it's a blessing. The blessing of God. It's just not.
In Kaduna, I am Muhammad Marajingi, NTA News.
And that's our bit from Kaduna. It's back to area Abuja for the rest of Nationwide Network News. I beg your pardon.
Many thanks, Zule. And in Katsina, Governor Aminu Bello Masari has urged all student associations to key into the state government efforts at repositioning education to achieve the target of providing qualitative education and the goal number 4 of the Sustainable Development Goals. The governor made the plea in a message to the 40th anniversary of the class 1974 to 1979 of the famous government college, Katsina, now Diko College. Abdul Malik Hassan was there and now reports.
Represented by the State Commissioner of Education, Governor Aminu Bello Masari emphasized that the task of providing qualitative education required concerted efforts from all and sundry. While congratulating members of the Class 79 of the college for the anniversary and awards of its distinguished old students, the governor reaffirmed his administration's resolve to identify with any initiative aimed at promoting education in the state.
To shy away from drug abuse. Shy away from examination malpractice so that you can aspire.
Emir of Katsina and Grand Patron of the college, Abdul Mumin Kabir Osman, urged the association to live up to expectations in developing their alma mater. President of the Class 79 Old Boys Association, Abdul Aziz Idris Gofarbai, said the anniversary was organized to promote unity among members and identify areas of intervention towards the development of the college.
Whenever you come together, not only you share jokes, but you think of what do we do to our alma mater.
20 members of the association, including the Executive Director News of the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, Muhammad Labo, were presented honorary award for their contribution to the development of education at different levels. An Assistant Director News with the NTA, Lawal Ahmad Matazu, who received the award on behalf of the EDN, described the honor as deserving.
All boys associations are very important, especially when it comes to promotion of education and even the infrastructure of the schools.
The famous.
And sadly, the Permanent Secretary, State House, Abuja Jalal Arabi, has described the killing of Latatia Nankang Dagan, Assistant Director Administration in the State House, as a painful loss, not only to her immediate family, but also the entire State House. The Permanent Secretary, during a condolence visit to the family of the deceased, described her as a dedicated and hard-working officer whose dastardly and untimely death has left her colleagues in pain. He asked the family to take consolation in the fact that she lived a good life and contributed her best to the service of the nation. Arabi expressed confidence that the police will fish out the killers of Latatia and the law will take its course. 47-year-old Tatia Nankang Dagam from Plateau State worked in her office on Monday till 8 p.m., but by 11 p.m. she was gruesomely murdered in her apartment by unknown persons. The permanent secretary prayed God Almighty to comfort the family, the entire staff of the State House, and grant the soul of the departed officer eternal rest. And that's Network News. Many thanks for watching. Good night.